so tired of clashing, I think. And so what he wanted was like a yes man.
Yeah.
And Doug Yule seems to be like, Lou must have saw Doug Yule and was like, that's like a younger me. He sounds a lot like him.
Yeah, he does.
So much so, he sings a lot of the lead vocals, and some very well.
Yes.
New Age, Oh Sweet Nothing, I Found a Reason, and
Who Loves
Candy,
the Sun?
Who Loves the Sun, Candy Says.
Yeah.
So a lot of the vocals, and he does a pretty good job at the vocals. So here's a question: is Doug Yule underrated? Is he good?
It's funny, you know, one book that we were both looking at is called Uptight, the Velvet Underground Story. There's some info about Doug Yule and kind of how he was brought in and what they thought of him. And I think, yeah, some of what you said is really true, that it's like he looks sort of like Lou and sounds like him. And but he's also young and kind of, you know, talented musician, will do what he's asked in a way. There became some tension later that he said, "Oh, I did more than I was given credit for." But is he underrated? I think he, in a weird way, yeah, I do. I think he does add more of a polish, I guess. That's the big difference in that third album to me, is that it sounds a lot more polished and a lot more professional. Whereas the first album is just got its unique sound. The second album sounds like a garage band, and then the third album really sounds more like a band and musically better.
Yeah, I think he's very slightly underrated as far as he has a pretty good voice. I think.
Yeah.
Does great with vocals, and hearing them live. Most of the live recordings that are worth a damn are from that era. Probably because they played way too loud. Now there was an incident where all their gear was stolen, so all of their Vox amps that they were playing so loudly, which is why a lot of the early bootlegs that are out there of the earlier era are kind of like garbage sounding, because it's just too loud to have captured correctly, especially with the guy recording it off his, cassette tape with his little thing. But you hear Doug Yule a little more there, and I think there's a pretty complimentary vocals to Lou. He played bass, but he also played other instruments, and he played he actually played drums on Rock and Roll, I think.
Yeah.
And so he does have that. Now he's tainted forever though by the fact that the manager convinced him to keep the band going after Lou left.
Bad idea.
One of the worst purchases of my life was I bought at a bootleg convention. I was like, oh, this is from 1971. Awesome. And then I got it home, and then I realized, oh, that's with Doug Yule, Maureen Tucker still in the band, and then a couple other guys they brought in. And not great, not terrible, but not great. But he kept it even going.
That wasn't that album Squeeze or something?
That's right. Yeah. And he recorded an album and released an album called Squeeze, which has been on lists forever as one of the all-time worst albums and stuff like that, because it's called Velvet Underground.
Yeah.
If it was just called Doug Yule and you listen to it, it's actually not bad. And it has a couple good tracks on it that sound very similar to, like, would have fit in perfectly on Loaded, written by Doug Yule. But yeah, it's
Ooh, I didn't know all that rest of that history.
Very unfortunate. I think it's because of their manager, who definitely wanted to keep the Velvet Underground going.
Get the name, yeah, of course.
Get the name going. So I think he talked Doug Yule into, like, well, we've still got a record contract. You can release another record. I think Doug Yule's been like despised tarnished for years and tarnished forever by this thing where it's like, well, he's lost his band. He's just trying to keep a living going, So I don't blame him that much. And it, like I said, I really don't think it's that terrible of an album.